This is Get Real with Bob and Stacy, the show that helps you learn about the mortgage and real estate markets. Get the inside scoop from their expert list of guests and have some fun along the way. Now, here's Bob Gallagher and Stacy Alcorn.
Welcome back. You're in for another great treat here on Get Real with Bob and Stacy. We got a great show planned for you. Thanks for tuning in. We've got a special guest on the phone with us for our first segment today, Joe Fitzpatrick. You started the New England Sports Complex down in, is it North Attleboro?
It's actually in Attleboro, Mass.
Attleboro.
So that's correct.
Attleboro.
Yeah, and it's the New England Sports Village.
Good. Well, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you.
Thanks for having me. Nice to be here.
So New England Sports Village, basically you guys have this concept to basically bring families back together. Explain what New England Sports Village is all about.
So the New England Sports Village is a concept that my partner Dave Boucher and myself came up with roughly 3-4 years ago, and it was really in direct response to our own personal experiences sort of in the youth sports space. We have 5 kids between us, and every weekend was sort of a sprint to the front door, my wife going one way, his wife going one way, him going one way, and me going the other way, and we would split up for the entire weekend, watch our kids play sports, and then come back Saturday and Sunday nights and have dinner. And it almost got to the point where the weekends were tougher than the work week. So, we came up with the idea and said there's got to be a better way than traveling, 20, 30, 40 miles in different directions and then burning up the whole weekend. What would be cool is if we could create a place where you could consolidate these sports amenities under one roof or one campus and allow the moms, the dads to sit there and watch their kids play multiple sports in the same location, come together for, dinner, drinks, you name it, and be able to just maximize the time as a family, which has been, in our experience, more and more stressed the faster and faster that technology grows, within society. So that was kind of the conceptual, basis for what we did. We kind of talked to people about it, and we heard the same sort of gripes about, the work week, again, can sometimes be more relaxing than the weekend chasing amateur sports. Mm-hmm. And that's what it grew out of. And, it started 3 years ago, and we've been running the path ever since.
So is it eventually going to encompass all sports, and which ones are you rolling out first?
So ideally, you want to have all sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, we have enough acreage, so we have 139 acres at the base of Exit 3 on Route 95. Mm-hmm. It was, a unique piece of land that was a unique situation with the town that was motivated to have it developed. We just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And yes, so you want to encompass all the sports. So the way that it's working is we wound up spending the last 14 months permitting and entitling roughly 500,000 square feet of amenities. So phase 1 will be an ice arena, which is 2.5 sheets of ice, has a full bar restaurant, coffee shop, sports, 4,000 square feet of sports, fitness and training, and then across from that is an Olympic Aquatic Center. Mm-hmm. So that is right across the parking lot. That's a private 50-meter Olympic trial pool that's being built for our partners, Bluefish Swim Club. Mm-hmm. They were a swim club that is in the area that has a tremendous amount of kids and was swimming out of the local high schools, wanted to build their own facility, saw what we were doing, approached us, and we wound up becoming partners with them to develop one of the few privately held 50-meter pools in the area. So the first two will be that the ice arena is September of this year, 2016. The aquatics will be, call it around New Year's Eve, is what we're anticipating, January 1.
So this stuff is actually all under construction now?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, wow.
So we cleared the first 18 acres of the land, which will be where the ice arena and the aquatics are. It also will be in the back. There's a pad for a tennis facility, so we're working on a tennis academy, which could encompass racquetball. There's a 150-room hotel, which will begin site work in May, June of this year. It will be delivered May, June of 17. So we'll miss one winter season without the hotel. The hotel will come online for summer camps, things of that nature, in the second in 2017, and then sort of almost simultaneously with the hotel will be the field house, which is 165,000 square feet of indoor. Wow. It's a full indoor FIFA soccer field. It's got 4 basketball courts in it. It has a whole food court, and then 60,000 square feet of retail around the outside of the building that will encompass physical therapy. We've talked about having an urgent care in there, which I think you want to have medical. We'll have gymnastics, and then we'll have 2 outdoor turf fields as part of that phase 2. So you'll have the outdoor turf fields will allow for soccer, will allow for lacrosse, field hockey, football, you name it. You can do baseball in the outdoor field. So, and that encompasses about 60 acres of the development, and that's what we're calling phase 1. The budget on that's about $53 million.
Wow.
And then we'll maintain another roughly 80 acres for future development that we're just holding in reserve. And the idea is we'd like to do synergistic uses. I think medical and wellness is a huge thing in the market, and it goes really, really well with the type of amenities that we're creating. So, the idea is you want to develop as much as you can, as quickly as you can, but you also want to be patient. You want to be methodical about how you go about doing it.
It seems like people should be knocking down your doors, like restaurants. And do you have people calling you daily, wanting to find out how they can become a part of it? Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of funny.
When we originally started doing the entitlements, right, and people started hearing about it, you see a bunch of trees out there, and fortunately, we had developed a business model. We had a lot of local people that wanted to be involved. So, for instance, the ice arena, 95% of all the ice is booked, all the prime ice, they call it. So the entire season is booked out, ranging from, people like Level Hockey, who have a premier elite men's program, to Johnson Wales women's team, who will be housed out of the village, to the local Attleboro High School, North Hockey, King Philip, KP Walpole type hockey, so it ranges the gamut. It's all the way from the university level to, the kids that just want to play. So every day that we do more and more work out there, the foundations for the ice arena are going in next week. We'll start pouring the footings and digging for the footings, and then the rebar and the steel will show up in the next couple of weeks, and we'll start putting the foundations in. The steel will go up, and we'll work through the winter and deliver in September. So every piece that you put on the ground, every time someone sees more and more the foundations go in, things like that, you get more and more buzz out of it. But yeah, it's been pretty overwhelming, the amount of people that have called and want to be involved. We actually don't have enough ice for most of the people that we've had 2 or 3 other calls with other groups that would like to come in, but we're just it's booked, and you can only build so much to start. Wow.
Is there anything like this in the country?
There's comparable stuff. So the best example I would give to people that are looking for something that's similar is Chelsea Piers in Connecticut. So there's a place in Stamford, Connecticut. It's about 500,000 square feet, but it's all encompassed in one building. It's next to NBC Sports. And it's done fairly well, and that has a field house, and it has ice hockey, it has swimming, it's very conceptually like what we're doing. The difference between what they have and what we have is that we are maintaining an additional 80 acres, and we have a hotel on site. So as far as having the hotel on site, the massive land that we're building, and the diversity of the amenities, there's nothing that I know of in the country that can match it at this point.
Now, is it a hotel that you and your partner are putting up, or is it somebody that's going to come in and put a name on it?
The way you do it is, obviously there's a lot of operating businesses. Like the aquatic center will be owned and operated by Bluefish Swim Club, because we're not swim people, but we love the sport and we know it's great, and they're tremendous operators, and we love them as partners, and it will be something that not only will their team swim out of there, but it will be open to the community, so that if you want to go and do training in the pool, things of that nature, it's just a really good amenity for summer camps, things like that. But on the hotel side, that will be a joint venture with the hotel operator. And the reason you kind of do it that way is we're going to provide a lot of the demand for the hotel. So we want to make sure that we maintain ownership of the assets as much as we can, and then bring in strategic partners and what we consider to be best in class partners across the board to run the different the programs and offer the services for the community and the people that are coming.
And how about the restaurants? Is it going to be something you guys open up on your own, or is it going to be like chains or something like that?
No, so the majority is like the restaurants in the ice arena. The coffee shop will be a Dunkin' Donuts, so that'll be done by a franchisee. you want to be careful in these situations. You can't be everything to all people.
Mm-hmm.
So, we at the end of the day are the general partners, and we oversee and create the atmosphere, which I think will be second to none.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you bring in the best-in-class partners. Like, for instance, we'll run the ice arena. We'll have an internal team because we know hockey. We'll run the field house. We'll have an internal team on that. The aquatics will be run by Bluefish. The hotel will be owners in it, but we'll bring in a hotel management company and a joint venture partner that actually runs hotels, because that will, the hotel will service. We envision just between the aquatics and the ice arena, we'll have 27 tournaments a year. Tournaments they're actually meets for swimming. The tournaments are for the ice, but 27 weekends out of the year, there'll be people staying in the hotel and on site playing in large-scale tournaments, which is a really, really big business right now in the marketplace. So, so it's a balanced approach.
Gotcha.
Any unusual sports like fencing and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we have we just got an inquiry from a curling club. I don't know if you call it unusual, but it's interesting. We've talked to a couple of cricket clubs that want to have cricket.
I was going to say that as a joke. I because you said before we got started today, international, but you're really going to have really everything there is under the sun.
The good news is we have the land, right? So it's a balance of, you have to do smart development is the way I look at it. But the most important thing is the quality of the people. I've said this before, and it's no offense to people that build buildings for a living. I love that business. But anyone can build buildings. It's the people that are in the buildings that matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, the idea for us is, there's a lot of really good amenities in the country, don't get me wrong. We think we'll have best in class alongside anyone. But what we're really trying to create is a place where, everyone feels like they matter, right? So every kid that comes in, whether you're an elite athlete or whether you're just a kid that wants to play for fun, which is what sports, were really emanated from originally, and have kind of got away from that with all the specialization. There's a lot of pressure on kids these days to perform. That's fine and good at certain ages, but what we're finding is if you can create an atmosphere where you have really quality people that run the programs, starting with the ownership, and say, look, let's take sports back to what it was, which is it prepares you for life. It teaches you life lessons. It teaches you you're not the center of the universe. It teaches you that you got to sacrifice. You got to be part of a team. Those are really, really good skills that kids will be able to use in life, and that parents want to see their kids get taught. So the key thing is create the environment. That's why we call it the Village, New England Sports Village, because the old saying, it takes a village, right? And it's really the people. We're the developers, we'll be the owners, but we're really building it for everyone. I want every kid that walks in there to feel like I'm part of this. And that may be a little pie in the sky, but that's how we do things. We shoot for the stars, both on the atmosphere, and I always say you can't quantify goodwill. That's the balance you have when you're trying to do large-scale development is, a lot of it is bottom-line numbers. But at the end of the day, I believe that the goodwill that you can provide for people, if you create a unique atmosphere, there will be nothing else like it in the area.
That's amazing. We only have maybe 3 minutes left. Can you talk about, what makes somebody go after such a massive dream? This is going to be a massive amount of work. You're going to be unrolling this basically for the rest of your life, adding new sports and new pieces to it. So how did it all come about?
It really came about from my partner approaching me when he coached my son and told me he had an idea. And I love the idea, and I said it's very difficult to do. But, at the end of the day, when I'm 43 years old, and my partner is a little bit younger than me, but we've been through our careers. We've been in businesses where we've been in the money business. He was in the benefits business. There's a lot of ways to make money in the world. There's but finding ways to be impactful and also have good business is rare. And I think that this space is one where you can affect a lot of people positively. I grew up playing sports. I loved it. I love the spirit and the essence of it. So, we're always looking for something to create. And when you leave it behind, it's really for our kids. We build this, it's for our kids. It's for everyone's kids out there. And then again, that sounds pie in the sky, but you don't get something like this done if you're just doing it for the money. It never gets done. it's too difficult, and there's too many impediments, and there's too many people that don't believe it can get done. So you have to be in it for a bigger reason, and the bigger reason is like the effect you can have, the impact that, you know, what we build and leave behind. And, you know, you have to picture the vision, right? Like I picture it, and my partner and I talk about it every day. The day we step out onto the ice, where we have all the people that we invite and know, and all of our close friends and their kids, and they jump out and they do that first skate on the ice, like that's what you keep in the back of your mind. And then when the obstacles come up, you just overcome them. You work around them, and you know that if the vision and the play is right, which it is, you just keep grinding it out, and eventually, you know, it happens. But you got to have a bigger reason than the money and the profit and things like that, which is important, don't get me wrong. You can't develop this type of stuff unless you have a strong business case. But what really drives it in the end, and what keeps you going on the days where you're just like, damn, you know, it's another impediment, or, you know, you're trying to get the budget in line, or you're trying to figure out why, you know, the contractor is doing this, or, you know, why something like you thought it was designed correctly and you have to move, you know, this part of the portion of the site. There's a million things that happen, you know, and you have to work with a lot of people. But if you have a mission and you have a reason to do it, then you always keep going.
That's awesome. So it's anysportsvillage.com. Last words, if somebody's listening to our program today and they're interested in getting involved, either opening a business there or partnering as, I don't know, there's probably a bunch of different ways that they can potentially partner. How do they get in touch with you?
So you can email us. My email is joe@5 CAP management MANAGEMENT.com, and my direct they can call my number. It's 617-794-0036. And you know, look, even if they're just people just want to be involved once it's open, they want to bring a team down, they want to talk to us, they want to pick our brain, they have a similar vision, anything, you know, we encourage people. We love to talk to new people, and you know, everyone usually has good ideas, so we'd love to hear feedback.
Great.
Thanks for joining us on the show today, Joe. That was a lot of great information. Stay tuned. We've got more Get Real with Bob and Stacy coming up after this.
Bob, Stacy, thanks a lot. You guys take care.
Thank you.